Welcome to my channel. So yesterday I uploaded a video discussing the motion that was filed in the Georgia court requesting that the district attorney, Fani Willis, and her entire department be removed from the case against Trump because of some actions that she's taken that are unethical, possibly illegal. And included in that motion, which I linked to in that video, was evidence that the special prosecutor, who is her supposed boyfriend, had met both with White House staff or counsel and Democratic members of the January 6th investigation committee prior to the filing of charges against Trump and others, and how that could be a real problem for her, that she might get thrown off the case. Well, today more news came out. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But first, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming to my channel. Thank you for subscribing if you have. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting, sharing, and liking them. I really do appreciate the traffic. And the reason this channel exists is because you're paying attention. So thank you. So this is an interview that Hannity did, and I'm going to back it up at the beginning, with one of Trump's attorneys in the New York case that has been brought against him from the district attorney up there. And by the way, both the district attorney in New York and the district attorney in Georgia are Soros prosecutors. They got elected because of George Soros supporting them. So you know that they're far left extreme just from that fact alone, not even counting anything else. So let's listen to what this reveals.
All right, the left obsessively continues to push forward with their never-ending Trump witch hunts. Now, earlier today, Trump defied the judge overseeing far-left New York Attorney General's civil fraud case against him and gave a closing statement of a whopping 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Fulton County DA Fani Willis, she continues to come under fire over her alleged romantic relationship with the lead prosecutor in that Trump case. An outside counsel paid over $650,000. His name is Nathan Wade. According to those court documents, she has been subpoenaed.
Look at this. Fani Willis has now been subpoenaed in the divorce proceedings of Wade, her supposed lover. So this could end up costing him a lot of money. And she's going to have to testify under oath. So I think if there is anything going on there, it's going to come out during that trial. And that will be watched by the media for sure. Although I have to tell you, last night I don't watch national news media because they're not trustworthy. Nothing they say is going to be true. But last night I caught the first few minutes of ABC News where they're talking about what they're going to talk about during that half hour. And I thought it was noteworthy that in that list of topics that they wanted to cover, there was absolutely zero mention of what's going on in Fulton County, Georgia. Now, this is blockbuster information, but the media isn't even covering it. And they're not going to cover it until they're forced into it by the fact that it's become such common public knowledge that they can no longer ignore it. That's the way the media works. They lie by omission more than they do anything else. They just don't tell you about stuff they don't want you to know about.
in his divorce proceedings, and a new bombshell report from Politico revealing that the January 6th committee helped guide the early days of the Trump Georgia probe, as committee staff quietly met with attorneys and agents working for Fani Willis in April of 2022. Now, besides their steadfast pursuit of more Trump witch hunts, what else did the Attorney General of New York and the DA in Fulton County, Fani Willis, have in common? According to the visitor logs, both visited the Biden White House in the last 2 years. Here with reaction, Trump legal spokesperson Alina Habba is back with us. Alina, great to have you.
Now, think about this for just a minute. Prosecutors are supposed to be independent. They're supposed to be ethical. They're supposed to be about justice. But these prosecutors were meeting with politicians, discussing and planning and plotting the trials that they would bring. This is before they brought the charges. The trials that they would bring against a political opponent of the people they were discussing it with. See anything wrong with that? Think that might be just a little bit unethical? The corruption runs deep, folks. I mean, it runs deep, deep, deep in this country.
Have you? Let me see if I have this straight here. So you have the Attorney General of New York meeting with the Biden White House and White House counsel, I assume, or I don't know who. Do we know who? How many occasions have you identified she was in the Biden White House, and what was the time frame of that?
Sure. We saw that there was a meeting in August, the month or two right before they filed their complaint, and there was another meeting later in the midst of our litigation on the Attorney General's claim. So that is twice confirmed. I believe there are also reports that she had been at Miss Kamala Harris's home. This is not normal. She is a New York Attorney General voted by the New York constituents, and the only thing they all have in common is the Soros backing. I cannot understand why she would have cause in the middle of a trial to go see the White House and the Biden administration, let alone the top. One of the records said that they met on the front lawn. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I really can't. And I am with you, Sean, reporting with you every day. I am in the weeds, and I still am shocked. They cease to amaze me. This is unbelievable. I thought Georgia was bad, and then today I have to sit in court and get notice that this person has now weaponized her, which we already knew, but now that she's coordinating as well with the Biden administration. What was she there for? Coffee? We don't believe it anymore.
And the joke of this is this whole case is pending on the idea of whether or not valuations that, by the way, you have a disclaimer. The Trump organization had a disclaimer. Don't use their valuations. Any company lending money, any company giving insurance, they have a fiduciary responsibility to do their own valuation. So it's a moot point. There's not a single person that's been aggrieved in this case. You have no complaint from anybody, no lender, no insurance company. I mean, it's absurd on its face. They want to seemingly fulfill the campaign promise to go after one man, Donald Trump, one family, the Trump family, one organization, the Trump organization, and completely cancel them. And then you've got Fani Willis meeting with the January 6th committee, and then an outside counsel she's hiring and taking extravagant vacations with. Well, she met with the J6 committee, and both of them went to the Biden White House. And by the way, he charged Fulton County for the hours that he was there with Fani Willis at the Biden White House. Is that correct?
Can you imagine a world where you're trying to be corrupt and then you bill your time to the corruption? I mean, what planet are we living in? Honestly, the stupidity is amazing. If it proves to be true, you got to get popcorn at this point. But it's not a joke, Sean. These are real people. The Trump organization paid over $300 million in taxes over the past few years to employees. This is about people that work in the company. This is about the kids who won't be able to get a mortgage and won't be able to take out a car loan because Miss James and people like her had a political agenda. It's not a question of fact. It is a fact. There is video footage of it. And like I said today in court, not not one piece after 3 years of investigation, not one piece after 11 weeks shows that any of them committed fraud. All that it shows is one thing: desperation and election interference. It is pathetic.
Alina,
it is obvious. And the American people get it. Listen, you're not meeting with the Biden DOJ. You're meeting with the Bidens. You're meeting with Kamala herself in her home. What is going on? And when...
Well, I'll put the link in the description. You can watch the whole thing yourself, but the stench of this goes up to the heavens. It's unbelievable. The corruption is so endemic that it's foul. It's leaked into every single aspect of what's going on. If there's any justice at all, the Georgia case will be gone, and Trump will win the New York case. I don't think he'll win at the level now, because the judge is clearly biased against him, but I think he'll win on appeal, because they now have grounds for throwing out the whole thing, because it's obviously political, and you can't have that in prosecutions. If you think it's okay for them to do that, then you ask yourself this question: if you ever got arrested for a crime, how could you trust that that prosecutor would treat you fairly under the law? The answer is as plain as the nose on your face. You could not. There's no way that you could trust that prosecutor to be fair with you. And you'd better not trust her, because you're trusting her with your life. So the whole thing stinks to high heaven. It's absolutely rotten at the core. And it appears that Biden is behind it, which is even worse. I mean, this is your primary or your most significant opponent in the election, and you're going after him in court, trying to take his money and take his life and take away everything he has. What world are we living in? The American people should see through this. They should see what it is. It is what it is. They should see it for what it is, and they should be up in arms about it. They should be absolutely furious. Yeah, I know the partisan Democrats won't be. They'll be making excuses. But normal Americans, people with a somewhat of a head on their shoulders, people who can think for themselves, should look at this and be absolutely outraged and be disgusted beyond everything. It's just outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. Hopefully, it brings an end to all this crap and we can move on. But we'll see. As for you, my viewers, I pray that you'll be abundant, that you'll live a long life, that you'll be healthy, and that God will keep you safe from harm. And I pray that He'll do the same for every person that you love. And I also pray that you'll be anxious for nothing, but in all things, through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, you will make your requests known to God. And the peace that passes all understanding will keep your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. This is the Vietnam Era Vet, out.